Alright, so now in this video, we're going to dive into the raid, okay? So again, with the raid, we have another variation of an attack, right? To temporarily seize an objective with the planned withdrawal, with key emphasis on the planned withdrawal part. That's what makes this raid different from the other variations of the attack, right? So this includes, first, a destruction of essential systems and facilities, or the collection of critical info, or capturing hostages and prisoners, confusing enemy or disrupting plans, detailed info collection from planning, command and control from higher headquarters to synchronize. Okay, so those parts all can go into raid, right? Not each individual one has to be included all just for it to be considered a raid mission, but those are the different things you can pull by performing this raid, right? So then from there, we're going to break it into some phases so you understand it. So for phase 1 is the insertion and or infiltration, right? Phase 2 is we're going to have the objective sealed off and isolated. Phase 3 is the surprise attack. Phase 4 is the objective seized and the task accomplished. Phase 5 is the withdrawal. Okay, so some key points I want to point out for a raid is going to be the 7 minutes time on target. So when you're doing this raid, you need to have that inner clock inside of your head ticking to where you're telling your RTO, hey, every minute on the minute, you need to remind me how many mics it's been so I know how long we have been on this X and when we need to get the fuck off, right? And then from there, we're going to talk about SCAT, right? So SCAT stands for surprise, concentration, audacity, and tempo. So when we think about SCAT, think of a SCAT pack, right? We're thinking about a fast vehicle, right? So when we think about SCAT and we're talking about a raid, think again to that 7 minutes time on target, right? So when we're going to raid, we're getting there, we're setting up, we're going in, we're destroying, we're collecting, whatever the fuck the mission was, and then we're getting the fuck out, right? So that is that speed, that audacity, that tempo. So when you're performing a raid as that PL, you want to reiterate and disseminate from the top down that this mission needs to be fast. We are moving. We are double time the entire time, right? To where it's smooth and efficient, but fast at the same time. So then we get into the special teams, right? So we're going to have EPW, Enemy Prisoner of War, Aid and Litter, and then the demo team, right? So like we said, for a raid, most of the time you're going to be put onto an objective where there's something that they want you to destroy, whether it's a weapons cache. It'll tell you in your op board, right? And then that warning that you get. So then once you get that frago, then you're going to see in the mission set like what you actually need to do. So you will see that you need that demo team, right? So then from there, we're going to think about that withdrawal plan, right? That final phase, we're going to think about the term ass out. So when you think about this, it's saying that assault comes out first, that assault element, and then that support by fire element, and then security element last. So when we think about this, you can also maybe think of, if you've heard before, the red, white, and blue plan. So when you think about red, white, and blue, this is something that you as a PL can disseminate from the top down to where each soldier understands that when they hear the term red, they're going to think about assault element, right? So if assault goes with red, you're on the X, you've done your job, now you're into that final phase of withdrawal, you're calling out red, 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 right? And everyone's echoing it to where that assault element, they're going to pick up and leave, right? So then we go into white. If you want, you could put support by fire within that term white. So it's the same thing. You're calling out white, 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 white. Support by fire is getting there off the X, right? And then lastly, security, blue, 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 blue. So that security knows, hey, it's time to pick up and go, right? So that terminology of using red, white, and blue goes with that ass out to where once you're on the X, it just takes a simple one word to get everybody to know, okay, this element is getting up and getting the fuck out, right? And then it's for accountability purposes too, right? You know who you just called off and you know who should still be there on the X with you. Okay, so then for the illustrations, right? So let's think about phase 1, right? So what I have is this main effort, the support by fire, and the security teams already established, right? So then once we dive into it, just like we said, it's a variation of an attack, right? We still have our security elements, we have our assault elements, and then the support by fire with the weapon squad, right? So when we think about this being a raid, what we wanted to do is in a timely manner, we're going to go and we're going to get close enough to this objective. We would have already done a leader's recon from the ORP, right? So we take those key leaders, we, as the PL, you're telling your squad leaders, hey, I'd like you to in place there. Y'all are going to set up here, whoop-de-whoop. You do the whole 9 yards, right? You get everyone set up. So then once you come back to the ORP and everyone rucks up and picks up, and it's time to actually get to the objective and really set up for your mission, then everyone is in place, right? So then here, that is the beginning, right? Then you're going to go and actually conduct the raid. So here, this is that final phase, right? This is where we've already assaulted through. We've reached this LOA. Now it's time to get off the X, right? Because remember, we got that 7 minutes total time on target, right? So from there, remember, we have that ORP that we all know is the last known location, right? So from there, we can start saying the red, white, and blue plan. So red, red, red being that assault element. That element that cleared through is going to pick up and then return to the ORP. Then white, that support by fire element would pick up, return to the ORP. And then lastly, that security element, who in them coming last, they're able to stay there and notice any avenues of approach where the enemy might come with reinforcements, or they have eyes on the outermost of the objective, and they're maintaining that 360 security outside of the objective to where they can notify the PL if anything is coming up with reinforcements. So then lastly, that blue security will come off of the X and return to the ORP, and then you have completed your raid.